Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. Today we're going to be talking about Uranus entering the sign of Gemini on July 7th, 2025. So come say hello to me, join me, and let's see. Yeah, if you're new to me, please understand that the planets, I have to clean my glasses. The planets are not doing anything to us. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos. And it's like, every aspect and angle in astrology is like looking at a lab report of our progress, of our spiritual, psychological, biological development. So the planets aren't doing anything to us. They reflect, by definition, our choices and our behavior. So yeah, let's get on with it. This is going to be fun. All right, I'm going to get right into it because I want to. It is quite humid, and I've got voluminous, and I'm sweating. Whew. Okay, let's start with what Uranus is. It is the planet that represents the parts of us that are rebellious, that are focused on science, astrology, astronomy, technology, electronic information, even finances, even Bitcoin, things like that, different types of currency. Uranus guides the sign of Aquarius. So, what kind of currency are we looking at? The currency of wind, water, electricity. So, I don't have an example. I wasn't focused with my sweating brain today. The symbol of Aquarius is what looks like a man pouring water from a jug into the heavens. Well, it's not water, it's current, it's the frequency, it's energy of transformation. And so, Aquarian energy right now is boosted, we could say, but it's not really, with Pluto in the sign of Aquarius right now. And Uranus is the celestial spiritual muse for Aquarius. So that indicates anytime a planet moves into a new constellation, in this year, oodles. Okay, we got Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, the retrograde back into Pisces, but moving forward into Aries. One for 2.5 years, one for 14 years. Uranus will be in the sign of Gemini for 7 years. We've got one retrograde back into Taurus, and that is November 8th, 2025. Take notes, through April 25th, 2026. So November through April, the planet Uranus, which is about to be in Gemini on July 7th, 2025, is going to retrograde back into the constellation of Taurus. So it's like saying you get a taste between July and November of what your newfound thinking and feeling and actions are. What's it like? Did you like making that change? Was it sudden? Uranus represents rebellion or sudden or erratic changes. It also represents the parts of us that want to create. I like to say that Uranus invented the chain and then the bolt cutter. Uranus wants freedom. It doesn't really. The planet wants nothing. It spins. That's on its axis. It's the only planet in our solar system that spins sideways, so that the rings are this way. Saturn has rings this way. Uranus has rings this way, right? It's unique. It's different. When Uranus enters the sign of Gemini on July 7th through November, 8th, just to give us a taste of what our changes look and feel like, or the need to go forward with something, or let's say I've had it in a relationship, or I need to move to a different town, city, country. I am done with that banking industry. I need to do something different. I'm going to go into farming instead of buying, produce at the market. So Revolutionary thinking, re-evolutionary thinking in action is what it represents. And, it's like an initiation, really, because the parts of us that are stuck and mired in the old are getting tired. We want freedom. We're looking for freedom. Now, in the sign of Gemini, we could polarize. We become so ardent. We become so biased, confirmation bias. It's like, oh, if you believe it, you're going to create that vibe, and then you're going to bring validation to you and say, see, told you. Yeah, told you it was that way. Well, are you sure? With Uranus and Gemini is the parts of us that are on a happy day feel like, oh, what's over there? That's exciting. I didn't know that. Tell me more. I want to learn. On the cloudy days, inside our minds, Gemini represents the overprocessing, overthinking, over analyzing, judging something instead of evaluating it. So consider that when two energies come together, that can look like revolution or re-evolution. Revolution is what it looks like right now in the world, especially in the United States, the European nations with regard to Russia and the Ukraine. Everything looks like it's up in the air. It's like the world has gone mad and crazy. But we don't have to be negatively affected. We can be concerned and act on things, right? Your congressman, your senator, you know, donate, sign petitions, whatever. But evolution does not always require chaos or a negative event. We become aware of something and we think, oh, now Gemini's in Uranus is in Gemini. What does that mean? What does that mean for me? Well, it can mean, let's get into it. Aries, what does it mean for you? Well, it takes place in your third house in the general charts, if you're an Aries sun or rising sign. And it's all about your belief system. What do you believe? Aries, sun, rising, moon sign as well. What do you believe? What new learning style can you adopt? Because if you're thinking the same way, nothing changes. Everything is energy, and it begins with what you perceive, what you believe, what you perceive, and then how you express and communicate from that moment. Aries rising. So we want to learn something new. Do one new thing a day, Aries rising sign, one new thing a day. And then please use tact when you're speaking, because to go to an extreme, like suddenly you've quit smoking and now you're on a campaign, and then it becomes a rampage. And then everyone you see who's smoking, you try to change their minds, try to talk them out of it, try to show them, images of what your lungs look like. So you don't want to polarize. You want to become aware of what you're communicating and how. And take in these new ideas that are about to happen or have been happening. And now you want to write them down. And what do you want to do with that? You want to write a book, create a speech, do a podcast, just do some new writing exercises that help you to let go of the past so you can move forward. Think about that. Taurus, sun and rising sign. This takes place, Uranus and Gemini takes place in your second house. So we want to watch extremes when it comes to money, finances, values, and security. So that means your earning potential. Maybe Taurus sun or Taurus rising sign, suddenly you have a windfall and you've got 3 jobs. Maybe you're a freelancer and you've got 3 jobs in a row, and then, wow, you're living the life. And then suddenly, you hear crickets. It's like an arid desert. There's nothing flowing in. And you're thinking, what just happened? Everything was going so well. Now I have to really cut back on things. And so remember, I'm going to say this for every single sign. Everything is energy. So if you start to perceive that the drought or the ebb is not connected to the flow, there's a middle ground. You don't want to be swinging left and right and get panicked and suddenly sell your jewelry. What you want to do is change your vibration, Taurus sun, Taurus rising sign, into thinking, I am in the flow. All things that I need come to me easily, effortlessly. I am in the flow because I value who I am and I value my resources and I am worth it. So let's say you you're at a job and they say, oh, listen, there's been, because of this or that or AI or because of government policy, the evolution and the re-evolution is going to underlie every single sign and person on this planet. So maybe you're thinking, oh, gosh, they just cut my hours back. I thought they didn't fire me, but they cut my hours back. Now I have to supplement or I have to cut back and I can't have the gym membership and then, HBO plus all the other paid things I have to cut back. Okay, let's not panic and go to an extreme. We will consolidate our energy. If you are spending energy in areas that waste time, money, energy, resources, cut back on those first. Taurus sun, Taurus rising sign. And just know that you're worthy and that everything is an ebb and a flow. And we always come back to center. That's the infinity. And it'll be all right. Just focus on what you love, what your excesses are, not in so much the thing, but you feeling like, oh, I don't value it. If you don't value it, don't pay for it. Don't invest in it. Don't invest time, energy, or money in something. So you're going to shore up your resources. And then because of that, you are going to attract to you something amazing, a financial opportunity, a new investment opportunity, a new way to see yourself as valuable and what you have to offer. And that's a beautiful thing. Gemini, this is all about you now. With Uranus and Gemini, it's the new you. Woohoo. What are you going to do? Change your hairstyle. Change, maybe you're going to try a new diet, exercise, routine, something different because you're now feeling antsy. It's like you want to shed that skin. There's metamorphosis happening. So between now and November, Gemini sun, Gemini rising sign, you're also going to be thinking about, okay, let me just pause. Let me go back a little bit because the Uranus will be moving into Taurus, back into retrograde again. And that is the part of you that says, I need to value. I really need to value this, but what is it? What's happening psychologically? What's happening in my psyche? Gemini sun, Gemini rising. And that'll be November 25 through April 26. And during that time frame, you're going to go in to get out. So if you need to do counseling, if you need to do Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations daily, I highly recommend that because you want to get into the quantum where energy is easier to manifest. It's just so much easier than having to do it in 3D. So if you look at your past trauma, Gemini sun, Gemini rising, and you think, oh, I'm this way because that happened to me, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. Okay, but can you change? Is that possible? I mean, you thrive, Gemini, you thrive on new things and new ideas and new technologies and new possibilities. But sometimes you're motivated by, I just got to get out of here. And you make a quick right turn and nobody knew that was coming. So before you go to an extreme, Gemini sun, Gemini rising, just think about what's your new style? What do you ask yourself the basics? Do I like living in this climate? Do I care about these things that I used to care about? And if the answer is no, then realize you're changing and that you can step up a little bit. You can be a little braver. You can take a little bit more risk in not just who you're presenting to the world, but how you feel. Remember, everything is energy. So Gemini sun, Gemini rising, the new you requires that you look back, not for very long, and say, okay, if I'm going to start a new relationship, a new job, move to a new apartment or a new house, I want to make sure that I have my criteria together and make a list. What is the ideal 1 through 10 qualities, 1 through 10 qualifications if it deals with another person? Who are you now? That's what you want to assess. And so that the next 7 years is going to be you stepping up and stepping out and using technology to do it, maybe using laser surgery because the first house is about the body, personality, and past childhood trauma. So you might say, I want a new look. I don't want to be wearing glasses all the time. You might have LASIK done because, we're looking at Uranus, which is technological. It might also be, I want to get more into astrology, or I want to study the science behind that meditation. That's why I say Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's amazing because he has proof. He has technically created proof, or documented proof, not created it, and to show you what happens when you meditate, to show you what happens when you go from high to low, left to right. So I say that's really important and valuable for you right now. Cancer, Sun, Cancer rising sign. We're looking at the 12th house for you, and that is deep, meditative, but it's also profound and sudden ahas. Like, I can't believe I attach myself to this person, this ideal, this ideology, this business, this way for so long, and I'm not getting it back. It's like you're a cardinal sign, Cancer, Sun, Cancer rising. You can be very dogged in your persistence about making something work. But if it's not working, that's when you go inward and you want to see things differently now. You need to see things differently now, Cancer Sun, Cancer rising, because you're now in that realm between dreams and reality. And what's the difference? If you dream it, you can create it because it's all about energy. And if you're having nightmares and they reflect your day job or the relationship that you're in, or that you don't have a relationship, or that you haven't been treating your body well, the 12th house deals with the psyche, mental and physical prisons or hospitals, whether they be physical or metaphorical, spiritual, biological. So are you eating okay? Are you caring for yourself? Are you taking time to, you're like a sponge, Cancer Sun, Cancer rising. And every once in a while, you just have to wring out all the emotions that you have absorbed from the world or your environment or your neighborhood. So it's a day spa. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Give yourself a facial, a foot soak, little apple cider vinegar, with some lemon juice and warm water. I know it's going to be kind of smelly, but when you soak your feet in that, you will detox. Or a baking soda, detox. And coming to terms with, okay, is it about medication? 12th house is about the psyche. Are you wanting a quick fix? Maybe you just need to reduce your intake of carbohydrates and sugar so that you don't feel wacky or crazy. People go straight for the quick fix sometimes instead of realizing just adjust and tweak a few things, Cancer Sun, Cancer rising. And suddenly you can feel calmer. And suddenly you can go the more natural route. And suddenly you can see that, your body needs attention. And how you feel physically is going to affect how you feel mentally and emotionally. So keep that in mind. Between the dreams and reality, in the next 7 years, you are going to understand what you need and how to implement that in order to make the dream come true. Okay, Leo, we are looking, and Leo rising sign, we're looking at the 11th house for you, and that's groups, associates, sometimes family members, friends. And, you want to be more flexible now. You might think, I'm always flexible. I am always, okay, wait, whoa. You might be thinking, I have worked so hard to get to this point and it's not working. Okay, so that's when the group comes into play. Maybe it's about asking for help from a different type of group. Maybe it's about letting go of the friends that you've had forever, but they don't really support you in a way that you need anymore, Leo rising. And it could mean that you have suddenly decided, you know what? I think I need to reach a new milestone. I'm ready to go to the next level. So if you're a team leader, if you are needing a particular industry, a group of people, types of associates that can help you go to that next level to help your dreams come true, now is when you're open to it. Now is when you become more open to it. But remember, no extremes. And it is about being vocal, but not to the point of being rude. So Leo rising, keep that in mind. And it's also not the extreme of bowing out silently and suddenly you disappear from people and they don't know what the heck happened to you, because you're just going to recreate the situation over again in the next group if you don't resolve it. So we can also see an elder come into play during this time in the next 7 years that has a greater impact on your outcome. It could be someone in an industry who's been there, done that. Maybe they're retired, but they mentor business people, or it could be someone who you look up to and you never meet them. Maybe it's an author, you read their book and say, oh my gosh, I want to model myself after this person. So keep these things in mind as you are with the group, with your friends, with associates, and with Uranus and Gemini. It is about finding the middle ground, but also stepping up and presenting not just the problem, but a solution. Leo rising. Okay. Now we're moving on to Virgo rising, sun and rising sign. This is about Uranus and Gemini for you is about the 10th house. And that's about career, public persona, the way you are deemed as an authority figure. And if you are retiring, this is the time you might say, yeah, I want to get a really good package deal going, because Uranus and Gemini in this position is definitely about how you are compensated for your actions and your deeds and your ideas, and how you implement within the industry, the environment, or the workplace. So if you're retiring, this is a great time to get that package together and start thinking long term. What's the range? Well, since we're moving back into retrograde in November through April into Taurus, that's an earth sign just like you. You might be considering, let me reevaluate my worth and my future security based on that worth. And then I'll have conversations with, the appropriate people in HR or whatever it is. Now, if you're just stepping up into the workforce, this is a great time to set a standard based on a mentor, someone that you look up to, someone that you revere as, wow, they really have it together. They know how to communicate. They know how to resolve disputes. They know how to implement their ideas. So Virgo, sun, Virgo rising, if it deals with a career, on any level, you could be seasoned and they're looking to downsize, but they want to keep you and put you in a new role. Maybe you're thinking, I'm stepping out of working for someone else and I want to go entrepreneurial. So whatever version of career this is for you, from the beginning to retirement, you're not done by any means. And you can use media outlets to up your presence, to see what other people are doing, to implement new ideas to help the industry or the office that you're working in, and make suggestions based on, there's a new AI feature that helps with deeper research. It's not just a play program. It's something where we can use and categorize and catalog things and apply that to the new metrics in our business. Or it can be saying, I'm ready to ask for a raise and I have to use AI to figure out how to really approach it because I'm a little nervous. So using higher technology now is going to be really important for you, and to help you get your, I would say, persona at any stage, beginning workforce, just graduated, or just got a new job, how you can learn from others in that arena, how you can move forward, how you can gather intel and data that helps you and others thrive, because it's about a public thing. Now, this might also deal with, side note, the 10th house deals with a masculine parent. And if you come from a one parent household and your mom was your mom and your dad, or your mother passed away and your dad raised you, or a grandparent, it's about seeing, do I emulate my masculine parent? And is that still healthy for me? Or what would dad say in this situation? What would mom say in this situation? How can I reconcile these energies of masculine and feminine and apply it to my stage in career? And this is also about life direction. Okay. Libra, sun and rising sign. This is the 9th house for you. Gemini is an air sign, and so are you, but your approaches are very different. In astrological terms, you're looking for harmony, and sometimes you get sidelined into, yes, you both embody extreme behavior, like you suddenly cut something off, or you suddenly are in your head so much, you don't see that you've stopped communicating with the outside world. And people are like, where'd you go? What? What do you mean? You're a botanist and now you want to become an astronaut? Okay. Why? Oh, because you watched a movie and, so it's like, excuse me, Libra, sun and rising sign. It's really important that as your beliefs change, they must reflect a style of communication that lets everybody around you know what you're doing, because it's about incorporating new and higher, whether it's technology or whether it's using spiritual beliefs or new philosophies. You might go from, I'm no longer religious, but I now feel spiritual. You might cross that barrier. You might be thinking in the ninth house, I need to travel. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of town. And that travel can take you to different cities, states, countries, or just to a new place in your mind. So again, it is about, you could sit in your chair. And I'm going to come back to, I don't know who else I talked about this. Maybe it was Gemini, but using Dr. Joe Dispenza as a way to understand the science behind making changing a pattern. Because in the ninth house, this deals with contracts, understanding what you're signing. What's the bottom line? What are you responsible for? What are they responsible for? What if someone breaks a contract? What happens then? It's about legalities. It's about travel, understanding different philosophies and cultures and how they might now apply to you. And you might say, oh my gosh, I got a book, because it's also about the house of publishing. So whether you're writing or an editor, or you go to a bookstore and you're drawn to a book and you look at it and you say, I have this book. I've had it for 15 years, but I never read it. So as things come back around for you, Libra sun, Libra rising sign, your ideas broaden and you revisit some things that might now apply even more than they would have had you read them 9, 10, 20 years ago. So be open to these new ideas. And it's not about extremes. Just know that you're in your head thinking, trying to process and deal with something, but you are dealing with physical and legal contracts. It could also deal with marketing and or travel. You could be moving energetically to a different state or a different country. And what does that look like? Visas, passports, green cards, all that stuff. Changing your name. Like, it's a wacky world right now. So keep in mind that there are people who can help and there are outlets and resources. Just use technology, your computer. Ask ChatGPT to be very specific. The more specific your prompt is in asking a question, and ask it to go deep, and ask it if it understands what you are saying. You are having a long prompt, and this way it will give you more in-depth information so that you can move forward in these areas. And have fun with learning something new. That's really going to be your momentum of energy right now, is learning something new. Okay, Scorpio, sun and rising sign. This is about the 8th house for you. It's all about personal power right now with Uranus moving into Gemini. And what does that look like and feel like? Well, uh, okay, I'll say it simply because you're you. You got to get over yourself. You got to get over the fact that you think it's about money. It's not about money. Money's an energy. Food is an energy. Thoughts are energy. Everything that you're thinking and feeling, the 8th house exemplifies in astrology about your resources. What are your resources? Who are your resources? Is it about sexual energy? Are you healing something that deals with a rebirth process? Maybe someone in your family or friend group passed away and you're shocked by it or devastated, or you go into a little quiet space and think, I just lost something. I wish I were more. I wish I had done this. So we don't want to go backward, really. But guilt is there because we feel shame on some level. Guilt is, I made a mistake, but shame is, I am a mistake. So consider that. We're experimenting here on this planet. We're seeing what works. So if you didn't get to say something, you still can, because energy just changes shape. When people pass on, for instance, Yeah, it's not the same. And we grieve and it's hard, or we're relieved because we were caring for them for 6 years and we're exhausted, or whatever the situation is, but they still exist. They still exist. So you can still have communion. So it's moving into the energy intuitive side of things with joint resources. So before you sign a contract, or you're thinking of, getting different insurance, or what's your life insurance policy like, or what's the payout on this, auto insurance thing, or which boxes do I check? You do your research. Yes, absolutely. But where are you coming from energetically? Are you dreading calling the insurance company? Are you thinking, "Ugh, I need an attorney. I can't do this." Are you ready to litigate? That would be the ninth house, but they sometimes merge. So go back, step back into more of a spiritual place and say, how do I feel right now? Am I doing a long-term, legacy thing for my family, for my future kids and grandkids? Um, what assets do I have? But label them spiritually. I am clairvoyant, I'm clairsentient, I'm clairaudient. And maybe you don't know what these things mean. You can join my program and get the Bodhi system to find out. Or you go on YouTube and start to discern for yourself. What are these things, Scorpio, sun, and rising sign? And how can I utilize the idea of intimacy into me, you see, in feeling and knowing what's next, and then working out the legalities around it with a partnership, a joint resource. Got to sign on the dotted line. If you're going to co-sign, I would double think that, and think about how you would like to express a little differently when Uranus enters Gemini, because it's not about the fight. It's not, if there's any kind of dissension among the family members and the will, or the living will, or the testament of someone who passes, and you might be thinking, oh, they claim a stake in the thing, and so do they, and so do they. And it's like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's a house, for goodness sake. Let's divvy it up. Or perhaps someone asks you to become an executor, and everything is going smoothly and you're just feeling sad about it, like, oh, this is next level. And I want to do all I can for my grandmother, my mother, my aunt, my uncle, whatever it is, and to put things into place. So it is a learning curve for some of you, but it's also a learning curve for all of you energetically, and really trusting that your needs are going to be met. And say that every day: my needs are met, my needs are met, my needs are met, and all will work out well. Okay. Sagittarius, sun and rising sign. We are looking at the seventh house for you, with Uranus entering the sign of Gemini. This represents for you new and sudden, possibly, partnerships. Now, they can be erratic, or you could be in a relationship where it's just building to, this is becoming too much. And you need to draw the line and say, this is not healthy, this is not stable, and we need to have a conversation, a big sit down, and find the middle ground. For some, it can be, oh, hello, because your energy is open toward bringing in trust and intimacy with a partner. You might meet someone, bump into them. Maybe it's at a science festival. Or maybe it's through astrology, or maybe it's because of financial investments. You're looking at, oh, you are so unexpected. You might say, you are not the person I had imagined. So consider that if someone enters your life and you feel like you're about to be swept off your feet because it's not what you've had before, or it's not what you've imagined, it doesn't mean that it's a sign to go and elope 3 days later. It's a sign of you are ready for something new. So please pace yourself, Sagittarius, Sag rising sign. And it can be that, with that said, when Sagittarius suddenly is faced with their opposite sign of Gemini, they see parts of themselves that are underdeveloped. fun, light, free thinking, less judgmental, and or more together in business, more critical thinking skills, more willing to take a risk in certain areas. So it's the opposite, yet it can feel the same. So I would advise no extremes. If somebody new comes in to sweep you off your feet. Now, this can deal with a business partner as well. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It can be a new client who comes in and says, oh my gosh, okay, we're going to work together for a while. Buckle up. Let's go. And you're like, okay, sure. What do you need? And make sure the conversation is clear, regardless of what kind of partnership it is. A Sag rising sign, you must be clear in the relationship with what are your needs? Because the assumption will be, oh yeah, they think just like me. Or they're so out there, I don't know what they're thinking. And I'm a little confused. So it's going to be one or the other. We want to find the middle ground. We want to talk a lot. Which says, let me just be clear. Let me think. I don't know if I heard you correctly. Could you say that in other words? Because I feel this, but I'm thinking, huh? Or I'm on board with you mentally, but my heart is going, I don't know. I got to put the stop sign up. So just be clear, because you're going to come to an impasse or find a new way to relate, and it's going to create a sudden release that almost feels like an epiphany, like you have an emotional orgasm over this thought process that you never thought of, and then you think you're in love, or you think this is the best thing ever, and then just as quickly as they come, they go. For some. So new peeps show up. Just be aware of that. Let's see what else. There's new ways to relate right now. So if you feel like you're stubborn, you have to ease up a bit. Be a little bit more spontaneous with conversation and really honest communication around it. Ease up the stubbornness, because Gemini can be stubborn, Sagittarius can be so stubborn. But what's the opposite of that is communion. Okay, Capricorn. It's like speed dating. Capricorn, sun and rising sign. This takes place in Gemini, Uranus and Gemini in your sixth house. It is a work-life balance thing. It is also about your chores, your habits, your routines. You need to break up the pattern that doesn't work. If you have back issues, let's say, and suddenly you're like, you have a good day and you're like, yeah, I feel great. I'm loose. It's great. I did some stretching, a little Tai Chi this morning, and you go outside and you start weeding. And then you think just 3 more, but your back's starting to ache. And you're like, just 2 more. I just want to get this. I want to get this quadrant done in the backyard. Okay, stop. You're not listening. Uranus and Gemini is like, I'll work out. It's like saying, I'll work out every day. And then after day 4, you're like, I could skip today. It's all right. I'll eat only fruit with my protein and my vegetables. And then on day 5, you know what? What's a piece of candy is not going to kill me. Okay. So the extremes are only evident of your refusal on some level, or inexperience on any level, to find harmony with work-life balance. Now, when we get to the health part and the well-being part, you must be very, very true to yourself. I'm not saying go into full deprivation. It's not about extremes, Capricorn sun, Capricorn rising. We don't go into extremes. But if you say to yourself, I am flowing toward well-being in every moment. I'm flowing. It's a nice, easy phrase. It's not a regiment like, I'm going to work out an hour every day for 6 weeks. It's like, no, because, at the end of 3 weeks, you're going to go, screw this. I deserve time off, because you implement hard lines for yourself. Capricorn sun, Capricorn rising sign. Have a project, have a goal in mind, absolutely. But be reasonable and be kind to yourself. And I mean that with all sincerity. I'm a Capricorn rising. I get it. I totally get it. Gemini in your 6th house, especially with Uranus, is a sudden opportunity can come in. Could be job related, could be client related, could be community related, could be how you can serve the community, could be how you can go in a new direction with a client that you weren't thinking before. It's like they come in and ask, look, I know you do this, and that's really great, but I also saw that you did that, and I want that. I want more of that. And you're thinking, Oh, okay. Then you quick come up with a new plan of how to teach it, how to teach them, how to be part of a new program, perhaps. So Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Rising, the work-life balance is, you set up your calendar for the week and you're going to do two things that have to get done. They just have to, because it's financially secure to do it, because it's practical to do it, because it's part of the timeline for the project. And then you're going to do two things that kind of flow toward health. I'm taking a break. I'm going to read on my lunch hour instead of sit in front of the computer and work. I'm going to take a break. Keep this in mind. I used to say it just for Gemini. I'm going to say it for everybody now. And that is, remember that your energy. And then when you come to an impasse of something, when you come to I'm over, like my back is killing me, but I have to finish this report, and we stop. And we're going to learn more about technology, how we can use that to help us. Maybe you buy I have a handheld massager and it's a pulse. So it's like, oh, wow, it gets the kinks out. That's my little spa day in 10 minutes. Then you put it aside. You have something nourishing and nurturing to eat. You're hydrated, electrolytes without sugar. You're taking care of the body, the biology. Then you feel great. Then you're ready to go to the next level with the project. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Before you know it, you're swinging, you're swaying, you're dancing, you're moving, you're shaking, and it gets done. And you're not aching or complaining. Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Rising. Okay, we love you. Aquarius, Sun and Rising sign. This takes place, Uranus and Gemini, in your 5th house. Oh, you get the fun house. This is the fun house. Okay, first and foremost, if you do not want a child, buckle up for safety. And I mean that in triplicate. If you do want a child, it's a great time. The next 7 years. Now, does that mean a 70-year-old is, going to get pregnant? No. But creativity lends itself, in a female body, lends itself to creating a baby. In anybody, it lends itself to a project. Maybe it's a new art goal: music, write, sing, dance, create, film, video, technology. Maybe you're going to do a documentary and you want to get the research down. Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Rising sign. This is also about kids and being innovative with children. Maybe you are a caregiver, a nanny. Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're thinking of becoming one. Maybe you're a grandparent and you're like, what do I do with this 3-year-old all day? And so there's structured time. Take it from Montessori and Waldorf are different mindsets, but if you incorporate a little bit of both, it's amazing what happens. It's amazing what happens. So think of these things, and then the creativity must blossom through the process of fruition. So that is, we plant a seed, we put soil on it. Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Rising sign. This relates to anything, your art project, the graphic novel you want to create, the baby you want to make, the grandchild you have to care for, the romance you want to foster. This is fun, creative time. The seed of your goal puts in the soil, and then we water. And then we put it in a place where it has enough sun, but not too much daylight, hot, heat, not too much nighttime. Take care of the extremes. And then we nurture it. We nourish it. We supplement. We play music to it. We give it a vibration of healing, health, growth, and vitality. And then before you know it, you've got exciting ideas are pouring through you. And you're like, oh, I know what I could do now. I know what I could do with the new lover, the married person, my married person, my spouse, my partner, the kids, the grandkids, the ones at school that I teach, the book I'm writing, the music I'm making, the film I'm documenting, whatever it is that you are creating. It is in its purest form, but it comes with thought and process and using digital technology to help you get there. Aquarius Sun and Rising sign. Pisces, last but not least, we are looking at the fourth house for you. And this is all about, this is interesting with Uranus and Gemini there. Uranus, when it transits through the fourth house in the general charts, is typically, or your fourth house, if you are a Pisces sun or rising sign, it has a lot to do with marrying the extremes in a way that suits you in a health way. And that is, it's family versus private independence. Family versus private independence, Pisces sun and Pisces rising sign. Now, if it deals with the actual structure of the house, there might be renovations you have in mind. You're thinking, you know what? I always wanted a screened in back porch. We've got the framework. Let's just finish it. And so you've got something. And then you work on that. And then suddenly 4 people come to visit and they're staying for 3 weeks. And you feel overloaded and you feel like you want to serve and give and be there and nurture and nourish and be part of the fun, but then you're exhausted or you come out sideways because you don't know how to be direct. So Pisces sun and rising sign, you might want to go off the grid for a while. Or you might suddenly decide to turn your home into an extended family living situation. Before you do either one, know that Uranus in the fourth house represents the part of you that needs variety in a way that feels not out of control, but part of your schema, part of your plan, part of how you think. So if you're thinking, oh, love to have, honey, how about we invite the kids? You know, and they've got a child and you've got a grandkid, you've got your son and daughter-in-law or whatever the configuration is, and they're traveling cross country in a Winnebago and they're going to stop at your house for a week. That's going to be so fun and so exciting. Then as they're leaving, you suddenly feel like bereft of family and you go into this woe place. Instead of going to the woe place, go to the wow place of, I have some freedom. Uranus, freedom. In Gemini, those 3 things I wanted to do? Well, now I'm going to start with one and I'm inspired. So watch the thinking of physical experiences within the home. Now, if there's anything traumatic going on in the home, make sure you seek appropriate care and help, professional help, whatever's going on at home, so that you can find peace of mind and you can offer assistance to a family member that might be addicted to something or have extreme or rebellious or erratic behavior. Because the fourth house, Uranus and Gemini in the fourth house can be someone who likes to party a little bit way too much. And then you're up with them, making sure that the front door is locked, that you took their keys away. And, it's like, you don't need that. You need to be setting boundaries in a healthy way. So have that alone time, but also invite family on your terms. Pisces sun, Pisces rising sign. And this place is going to help you, this time frame is going to help you know that your sanctuary is it's built in energetically, and that by communicating verbally you can say, listen guys, I know you're here for just 4 days, and how about today and tomorrow we do this together, but on day 3 I'm going to need some alone time. So this way you're creating harmony between the extremes, and they're going to be like, oh sure, no problem. You see, there's no guilt involved, no shame is involved, no having to people please involved. And if someone oversteps a boundary in your 4 walls, or if you share an apartment with, like they're the 4 walls next door and they're loud and they're extreme and there's fights or there's, feel free to call the appropriate people, the landlord, superintendent, the police, whatever is going on. I hope it's not that. I just hope it's not that. But that you need to find that your sanctuary is your home base and you are evolving in it. So in the next 7 years, what does that look like? Are you expanding on the 4 walls? Are you setting boundaries within them? Are you finding time for yourself and for others so that you can satisfy both parts of you of being that happy-go-lucky person who just wants to be and commune and create and be fun and light and spiritual? Or is there addiction somewhere? Uranus and Gemini in the fourth house can indicate someone who is militant as well. So be careful of that. It's like you go to visit dad for the weekend and he's like, yeah, and you're going to take your shoes off at the front door. These lights go off at 9 p.m. sharp. And you're like, why am I even here? Cut the vacation short. That's not a vacation. See what I mean? It's like you have the power to create your own harmony within. Go there, Pisces sun and Pisces rising sign. So family living, yes, absolutely. Four walls and who you are becoming within them. All right. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was fun. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for being here. And I will see you not on the 10th, which is a full moon, but I'll be back on the 17th of July. We're going to be talking about Mercury going retrograde in Leo. Okay, so please join me then. Okay, folks, be well. As always, I wish you peace.